How to radiate confidence without saying a word women love. This. Did you know that within the first 7 seconds of meeting you, people have already made up their minds about you? They've judged your confidence, trustworthiness, and even attractiveness without you saying a single word. And here's the kicker. This isn't just social intuition at play. Research from Princeton University confirms that people form lasting first impressions almost instantly. And those impressions are very hard to change. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you today. By the end of this video, you'll know how to radiate confidence effortlessly without forcing a thing. And if you stick around till the end, I'll share a bonus tip that most people completely overlook. But once you understand it, you'll instantly become twice as magnetic. Let's get into it. Welcome to Emma, your go-to channel for real, relatable advice on navigating the complexities of love and relationships. One walks slightly slower than the people around you. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful, confident people never seem to be in a rush? They move with intention. They don't chase the flow of traffic. They set the pace. It's subtle, but when you see it, you feel it. And whether you realize it or not, the way you walk speaks volumes about your confidence before you even say a word. Think about it. When someone is anxious or uncertain, they tend to move quickly, as if they don't want to take up too much space or be noticed. On the other hand, people who walk too slowly dragging their feet often come across as hesitant or unmotivated. But the sweet spot. It's when you slow down just slightly by about 5 to 10% compared to the people around you. Watch any world-class leader, celebrity, or athlete. When they enter a room, they don't rush. They glide. They move as if the world is adjusting to their pace, not the other way around. And that's exactly the kind of energy you want to bring. Next time you walk into a room, notice your natural speed and then slow it down. Just a bit. Keep your steps measured and deliberate. Move as if you're exactly where you need to be, like there's no urgency because you are in control of your own time. It's a small change, but trust me, it makes a massive difference. You'll not only look more confident, but you'll feel it too. And people will notice, especially women too. Maintain a relaxed yet powerful posture. Your posture speaks before you do it. Tells people everything they need to know about your confidence, self-respect, and even how much attention you command in a room. And the truth is, most guys get this wrong. They either slouch, making themselves look smaller, insecure, almost invisible, or they overcorrect, standing so stiff and rigid that they look uncomfortable in their own skin. Neither of these signals confidence. Real confidence comes from a relaxed yet powerful posture. One that's effortless but commanding. When you stand, imagine a string pulling the top of your head slightly upward, elongating your spine, but keep your shoulders relaxed, not slouched forward, not tensed up, just open and natural. Your chest should be slightly lifted, not puffed out aggressively, but just enough to show that you're comfortable in your body. Studies from Harvard University show that open, expansive posture increases testosterone and lowers cortisol. Meaning you'll naturally feel more confident just by adjusting the way you stand. This isn't just about perception. Your brain actually responds to the way you carry yourself. Picture a guy at a social event leaning into his phone, shoulders hunched forward, eyes darting around like he's trying to avoid attention. Now, compare that to a guy standing with an open, relaxed stance, shoulders back, and a calm, controlled presence. Which one do you think people will naturally gravitate toward exactly? So, here's your takeaway. Next time you're walking or standing, check in with your posture. Don't force anything, just adjust, relax your shoulders, stand tall and own your space. It's a small shift that will completely change the way people perceive you. 3. Use controlled, deliberate hand movements. Your hands say more than you think. When someone is nervous, you can see it instantly. They fidget, they touch their face, they cross their arms, or worse, they shove their hands in their pockets like they're trying to disappear. None of these things communicate confidence. In fact, they do the exact opposite. But here's what confident men do differently. They use controlled, deliberate hand movements, movements that are intentional, smooth, and never rushed. They don't fidget. They don't make sudden, erratic gestures. Every motion has a purpose, and that's what makes them magnetic. Think about the most captivating public speakers. Whether it's an actor, a CEO, or even a politician, they use their hands strategically. They emphasize their words with subtle measured movements. They never look frantic or unsure. Here's something interesting. Research from the University of Chicago found that people who use controlled gestures appear more. It makes you look like you're certain of what you're saying, like you believe in your own words. Now, I'm not saying you need to start rehearsing hand movements like a stage performer. Just be aware of them when you talk. Slow down your gestures instead of waving your hands around excessively. Keep them open and purposeful when you're not using them. Let them rest naturally at your sides, not crossed, not stuffed in your pockets, not clenched. Try this. Next time you're in a conversation, slow down your movements, use just enough to emphasize what you're saying, and notice the shift. You'll look calm, certain, and in control. And that's what makes people, especially women, pay attention. 4. Keep your facial expressions minimal yet engaging. Your face is a silent communicator, and whether you realize it or not, people read into your expressions before they hear a word you say. But here's where most guys go wrong. They either show too much emotion reacting to everything, like a human emoji, or too little, making them seem uninterested, detached, or even awkward. Neither of these signals confidence the secret minimal yet engaging facial expressions. Think of the most effortlessly cool men in movies. James Bond, Ryan Gosling, and even Denzel Washington in Man on Fire. They never overdo it. They don't frown excessively, they don't force smiles, and they definitely don't react like they're trying too hard. Their expressions are subtle, controlled, and intriguing, and there's actual science behind this. A study from the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that people who maintain composed, controlled facial expressions are perceived as more dominant and attractive. Why? Because they exude a sense of certainty. They don't need to over-explain or overreact. Next time you're in a conversation, try this. Slow down your reactions instead of immediately laughing or nodding excessively. Take a second, let your face be still, and when you do react, make it subtle but intentional. Raise an eyebrow slightly, tilt your head just a little, or give a slow, knowing nod. It's the kind of thing people pick up on subconsciously. It makes them lean in, curious about what you're thinking. And when someone is intrigued by you, they remember you. That's confidence without saying a word. 5. Always have a subtle, knowing smirk. Mystery is magnetic. There's something undeniably attractive about a man who looks like he knows something. The rest of the world doesn't. That quiet, effortless confidence, and one of the easiest ways to project that, a subtle, knowing smirk. Think about it. Who's more intriguing, the guy with a blank, expressionless face, or the one with a slight, almost unreadable smirk like he's in on some inside joke with the universe? That tiny shift in expression adds an air of mystery. And mystery is magnetic. And this isn't just anecdotal. A study from the University of British Columbia found that men who display a subtle, self-assured smirk are perceived as more attractive than those with a full, wide smile. Why? Because it suggests confidence without effort. It's playful, but not desperate for attention. Now let me be clear. This isn't about forcing some exaggerated smirk like a movie villain. It's about relaxing your face, softening your lips, and letting that tiny, effortless hint of amusement settle naturally. It should look like a thought, not a performance. Next time you're in a social setting, try this. Instead of reacting immediately, hold eye contact for just a second longer and let the corners of your mouth lift, just slightly. Watch how people respond. They'll notice, they'll wonder what's on your mind. And most importantly, they'll want to find out. That's how you create intrigue without saying a word. 6. Use silence as a tool. Don't fill every gap with words. Silence is one of the most underrated power moves in communication. Most people feel the need to fill every gap in conversation, thinking that the more they talk, the more engaging they are. But the truth, confident men don't rush to fill silence. They use it. Think about the most captivating speakers you've ever heard, whether it's a CEO, a politician, or even an actor in a dramatic scene. They don't talk nonstop. They pause. They let their words settle, and because they're comfortable in silence, everyone else becomes comfortable too. In fact, a study from MIT found that people who use strategic pauses in conversation are perceived as more thoughtful, intelligent, and persuasive. Why? Because silence creates weight. When you don't immediately rush to respond, it signals that you're considering your words, that you mean what you say. Here's how you can use this to your advantage next time. Someone asks you something. Take a second before answering. Hold their gaze. Let the silence linger just a bit longer than expected. It's a small shift, but it completely changes the dynamic. It makes people pay closer attention, and this doesn't just work in conversation. In social settings, a man who can simply exist in silence without looking uncomfortable instantly stands out. No nervous energy. No over-explaining, just presence. That's confidence at its peak, and it speaks louder than words ever could. 7. Own your physical space. Never appear small or hesitant. Confidence isn't just about what you say or how you say it. It's about how you exist in a space. A man who owns his physical presence is naturally more attractive, more respected, and more memorable. The problem: most guys shrink themselves without even realizing it. They cross their arms. They keep their feet too close together. They lean against walls or sit hunched over, taking up as little space as possible, and whether they mean to or not, this signals hesitation, insecurity, and a lack of presence. Now contrast that with someone who stands tall, moves with purpose, and takes up space effortlessly. You've seen this before. The guy at the bar who leans back comfortably, not fidgeting, the one in a meeting who spreads out just enough without overcompensating. These men don't try to dominate space. They just own the space they naturally occupy. Here's a quick fix. Next time you sit down, avoid crossing your arms or tucking your legs in. Keep your shoulders relaxed, hands resting naturally, and plant your feet firmly on the ground when standing. Give yourself a strong but effortless stance. Feet about shoulder width apart, weight evenly distributed. It's not about looking aggressive. It's about looking comfortable, like you belong wherever you are. And when you carry yourself like that, people feel it. They notice it. Because a man who owns his space never goes unnoticed. All right? If you've made it this far, I want you to prove it. Drop the word power in the comments. That way, I'll know you're part of the 1% of people who actually take this seriously and want to level up. And as a thank you for sticking with me, here's your bonus tip. This one changes everything. Bonus tip. The art of lingering confidence isn't just about how you enter a room, it's also about how you leave it. Most guys make the mistake of rushing through interactions eager to move on or afraid of overstaying their welcome. But the men who leave a lasting impression, they understand the art of lingering. Lingering isn't about wasting time or making things awkward. It's about knowing exactly when to pause, when to hold the moment just a little longer than expected. It's the final effortless touch that makes people remember you. Think about it when a truly confident man is finishing a conversation. He doesn't abruptly turn and leave. He doesn't cut things short or fidget nervously looking for an exit. Instead, he takes his time. He might hold eye contact for just an extra second, let a smirk linger on his lips, or walk away at his own pace, knowing he's in control of the interaction. And here's the fascinating part. Psychologists call this the Zinnik effect. Our brains naturally fixate on unfinished moments when you linger slightly before leaving. People notice, they remember, they wonder what's on your mind, what you were thinking, what you might say. Next time, that's what makes you magnetic. So next time you say goodbye, resist the urge to rush. Hold the moment, just a beat longer. Make eye contact, keep your movements slow and deliberate. And then when you do leave, do it with purpose, like you own the moment. That's how you become unforgettable. Confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about forcing conversations or trying to impress people with words. It's about presence. It's in the way you move, the way you hold yourself, and the way you create an energy that draws people in without ever needing to say too much. If you apply what we talked about today, walking slightly slower, maintaining a relaxed yet powerful posture, using controlled hand movements, keeping your facial expressions subtle, mastering the art of the smirk, embracing silence, owning your space, and lingering just a little longer, you'll notice a shift not just in the way people respond to you, but in how you feel about yourself now. If you found this video helpful, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button. It helps the channel grow and gets this message in front of more people who need to hear it. And if you're serious about leveling up, subscribe, because we drop powerful videos like this every single day. And before you go, we've hand-picked a video that we know you'll love. It's right there on your screen. Click it, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.